Thank you for returning to me, operator.
We can't leave without rescuing the prisoner. Keep searching. focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Oh, God, that son of a gun!
You are approaching the holding area. Careful. If the wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence. Heads up. A Grineer assault team is headed your way. The hostage is almost out of time. Hurry.
I will not forget this, Tenno.
Prisoner located. We need to get them back to command in one piece. Find your way to the exits, and don't leave the subject behind.
Got a weapon for me? I've got some scores to settle.
You've located the hostage. Escort the prisoner to the extraction point, and I'll take care of the rest. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Mission complete. The captive has been liberated. You will be rewarded for this, Steno.
Anyone else picking up weird signal shapes floating in the clouds just off Gas City? Nora's keen to hear from any listeners with info.
Sometimes Ordis likes to assume he knows nothing. Nobody can learn what they think they already know.
Eliminate all Corpus threats. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Dobijeczkę zakończę!
Corpus walkers are heading to your location. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
for you!
Another job well executed.
Fortuna! You are behind schedule! The final coolant tower must be operational in time for my investor showcase. Failure to meet your quotas means one thing: repossession. If you aren't willing to work for your rig, someone else is.
Busy. Oh, an outworlder. A Tenno. Look, we're a corpus operation, we are, but these people are Solaris. We work for a living. We don't need no trouble, and we don't need no one getting hurt. You wanna help? Go buy something from Thursby. He's been staring down the barrel of a repo order ever since he took on his parents' debt. Ugly thing, repossession. A Solaris falls too deep in debt, and Neff sends in his repo squads to take what he says he's owed. You know, mechanical body parts, even a full rig. In Thursby's case, because he got none of that, they take the organics. Arms and legs. Yeah, there's a market for those too. Fucking what? Neff wants to start that fossilized coolant tower back up today.
If you need scrap and a snap, just talk to your junkyard diplomat. That'd be me, Thursby, Thunderstruck, Sean and Pluck, down in his luck, whatever. Tell me you want to buy something. Please. I need this. Utico sent you? A Tenno? To help meet me quota? Well, B. You know, you could buy some scrap, but if you really wanted to help, you could source me some supplies. Some I can sell. Not this garbage. I know where the taxman keeps the good stuff. If you're up for that sort of thing, boss, head topside. She means well. Don't want to see nothing bad happen to us workers. But there was a time she had another name. Fox Solaris, the voice of the Resistance, the voice of Solaris United. She stood up for us, said how wrong this all is. She always said Solaris United was all of us, but it weren't nothing without her. When the trouble happened, Neff did try to identify her. What he did to the others. What happened on deck 12. She's always been kind to me. What happened to them was never her fault. When my parents passed, I inherited their debt, and boy were they owing deep. Can't work to pay it off, because I ain't got no augmentations. And I can't buy augmentations on account of all my debt. Vicious cycle, right? So, here I am, selling useless scrap at the edge of a coolant canal.
I, Nathaniel, with the will of the void, have turned this wasteland into a paradise.
You ever been out on the Vallis, boss? She's a miracle, she is. A blizzard in a firestorm. All thanks to the magic of rebooted Oregon tech. And the blood and the sweat of so many thousands of Solaris. But, you know what Utigo always says. She says,
Welcome to Venus. It'll kill ya. Thursby, what's going on? You keeping your nose clean?
Utigo? Sure am. Just giving a tour to my shoddy boss here, you know, earning a wage any way I can.
Alright then, Thursby. Just don't let this outworlder get you into trouble.
I need something I can sell, you know? Spare parts, quality merchandise, see? I know where the Corpus drops supplies. You can get in and out before anyone catches wind of what we're up to. Sneak and peek, boss. Crates full of the good stuff should be nearby. Outstanding! If we're the old Utigo, we be taxing taxmen on the regular. What else can you find? Amazing! With this haul, won't be just my debts getting paid off. You're gonna make more than one Solaris happy today, boss. Unbelievable! Why stop here? With your power, we could hit Nev hard. Make him pay for all he's done to us. Blow up his precious coolant tower before he's even had a chance to show it off to his mucking board.
Thursby! What are you thinking? You're on an unsecured channel. You want a Corpus spy drone hearing what you're up to? Ah, muckers. Too late. Got no choice. Tenno, you got Thursby into this mess, so you can damn well help him out of it. Tenno, you're looking for the Corpus spy drone that overheard Thursby's little guided tour. Find the drone before it reports back to Central Command. The drone is nearby. Ground it. And I'll see if I can still hack one of these things. Hold on, Tenno. Been a while since I did this. Now where is that recording of Thursby? They'll wreck that drone rather than let it go, obviously. So, you know, stop that. Corpus are legging it. Take out as many as you can. Keep them quiet. Well. You're a bright spark and no mistake. Could have used you back in the... Don't let me catch you running more missions for Thursby, understood?
They said it was impossible. Yet such prophetess glory is within our grasp. But I can't
Hi,
get
boss.
there without you.
Yuko
Fortune.
says that if I try anything like that again, she'll rip me arms off herself. But look at this! Yesterday, didn't have enough lucre to stay out of repo. Now, I got what I need to open my own shop. Get me head out of the red. All I need is a ripe hook. Something to set old Thursby apart. Something memorable. Oh, almost forgot. Biz heard of what you did. Said he wanted to speak with you. Lower parts, get a head start if you're building a cart with Thursby. Well, I need to work on that one.
Resurrect a dormant Orican coolant tower. They said it was impossible.
The Tenno Utico mentioned. How do you do, Outwelder? My mission is to conserve this region's unique species. You know, before the corpus drive them to extinction. I'm known as the Business. Utico calls me Biz. I wasn't always about the preservation of life, more the strategic deletion of it. Conservation may be my calling now, but the scales still require an occasional adjustment. Head to the Vallis if you're looking for some work. Are you averse to getting your hands dirty? Send a message. I've learned that the head of the Corpus Repo Squad has made a hit list of indebted Solaris. Before his goons can do their thing, I've got a K-bomb with his name on it.
Biz! That's not what we discussed. Wait. There's a repo list? Who's on it? Crap. Okay. Fine. But we do this my way. No K-bombs. Had about enough mess for one day. We do this quietly, and maybe, just maybe, Neff doesn't find out. Biz, this isn't the old days. We've got no leverage now. All we can do is try to save our people from getting ground up by the bureaucracy.
People are already getting ground up, UD. Debt on debt, accident by accident, repo by repo. How many even remember actual freedom?
You're nearing the secure area. Steal that list. don't get noticed. If they destroy the data, we won't know who to hide from Neff's Reaper Squad. That's not the good noise. Pull that data now, Sparky, or it's gone. They're going after your field team. Today.
They're already overdue for a check-in. Outworlder, you need to find my team before Neff's Repo Squad does. They were in debt because they chose the calling of conservation over filling Neff's pockets. It seems like the preacher wanted to make a point. But this isn't the whole team. We need more info. Search the bodies.
Damaged. There's something in the buffer. We need to get it decoded before the device fails.
Accessing buffer. Analyzing. Password. Hello. Buffer. Accessing final transmissions. Come on, final transmissions. I'm in. Taking a quick look around. Itinerary, patrol log coordinates, reports, blah blah blah.
The survivors are being held nearby, awaiting processing.
Some mucker warranties.
resurrect a dormant Orican coolant tower. They said it was impossible. Yet such prophetess glory is within our grasp. But I can't get there without
The Tenno
your
Yutiko mentioned. How do you do, Outworlder? My mission is to conserve this region's unique species. You know, before the corpus drive them to extinction. I'm known as the Business. Yutiko calls me Biz. I wasn't always about the preservation of life, more the strategic deletion of it. Conservation may be my calling now, but the scales still require an occasional adjustment. Head to the Valis if you're looking for some work.